Tune in now to the hottest sports podcast, 910 Sports. 910 Sports. We discuss the latest topics in sports, interview the athletes from all over the country, known and unknown, while spotlighting the youth of today and tomorrow with host Icon E, Mr. Personality Jacob the Great, Crystal, a.k.a. Miss Wildfire, KB the Amazing, and Steve O, a.k.a. Mr. All Everything Georgia.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon E, and we're here once again on 910 Sports. You know what I'm saying? Episode 39, I think this is right now. So we done so many of us, hard to keep up with them, but I want to thank God for another opportunity to be able to come on here and do another great show. Or whatever. And we got a lot going on, and God is blessing us in a tremendous way. A lot because we're being faithful, and also because we're being consistent. And faith without works is dead. And so we're doing our part, I feel like, into growing this brand. What's going on, my man?
What's up, Icon? What's going on?
Shoot, man, just chilling, man. What's up with you, man?
Not much, man. Another, like you said, beautiful morning, man. Just blessed to be able to be here and get another day to do right.
Yeah, man. So man. Like I said, it's a lot going on, man. A lot going on. So definitely gotta talk to y'all offline because I don't want to put too much out there too fast. But
all right.
We had a big conversation, me and Jacob on Friday. That's gonna really take this thing to a whole different level. With the coalition that everybody can see, we with Next Level DJs, which is part of the DJ Coalition. So we got B Soul Radio that's part of our family. So we got a lot going on. So anyway, man, let's first talk about Friday night's game, and then we get into Saturday night's game. And this is what I wanted to say was, and I've been preaching this all year long, is that Luka to me. I know Jacob be hating on man, but Luka to me got an opportunity to be the best player in the game. If I'm saying, he's at least to me, he's creeping up. If he's not already top 5, he's creeping up into that lane of being top 5. He's right there on the cusp. I mean, you can't say the worst you could say is maybe 6th or 7th best player in the league.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But the problem has always been to me, and I think it's always gone back since the Dirk Nowitzki days, is that, and I think a lot of it's Mark Cuban's doing, is that he's so arrogant as an owner to me that he doesn't maximize his superstars' years. Dirk Nowitzki, think about it. Dirk played 20 years, I think it was. And Dirk only got one championship, really. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he only got the one title. And to me, I felt like because he basically, like, just some of these owners, they still think about basketball like fans do. Oh, well, I could just trot out one superstar and then put some role players around them and they can win. And it doesn't work like that in this day and time. You got to have you have to have at least one. I ain't gonna say they don't necessarily be like LeBron and Dwayne Wade or Kobe and Shaq, but you got to at least have a second star, like a second all-star caliber player, like basically how like at least like a Giannis and Middleton, where somebody else you can really count on to give you 20, 25 a night and be there in the fourth quarter. And Dallas has never really had that through the Dirk years and through the Luka years. And these moments, they show up. So you could get away with it in a regular season and win a certain amount of games and get in the playoffs or whatever. But when you get to these moments, you got to have that other player that they can lean on. This man putting up 40 a night, and you know what I'm saying, and he's putting up 40 something a night, and they still losing. You know what I mean, or whatever. And that's just like when LeBron, the years he was in Cleveland first time around, and the last year when he was in Cleveland. At some point, it's gonna catch up to you. And so that's what I feel like. To me, I almost feel like either they're gonna have to end up trading Luka because he's gonna get frustrated, or they're gonna have to really go all in to find him a second star. So you tell me what you seen with Dallas last night and just overall. I mean, like night before and just overall.
Yeah, looking at Dallas, man, I think that I didn't expect for them to get this far. I did expect for them to get out the first round, but just looking at the teams and the teams out the West, if you told me the Eastern Conference Finals, I wouldn't pick in Dallas, but I didn't think they were going to be able to beat Phoenix, only because of how the veteran leadership Phoenix got. You got Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and you got Aiden over there too. And they've been to the Western Conference Finals last year, year before that. Phoenix had been building it pretty much. We had seen their evolution. Whereas if Dallas, like you said, only thing you can think of Dallas doing in the last 3 to 4 years is getting Luka. There's been no other big additions. They had Porzingis, that didn't work. You know what I mean? So they gave him at first. They tried to have that other start. Remember, they had traded New York. They traded and brought him in from the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
And he couldn't stay in. Couldn't stay healthy. And then when he did play, it's like him and Luka. It's like you had Luka. It was either Luka featured in the offense in one series or one play, or you'll have Porzingis featured in the offense on one play. They will never be able to play together. You didn't see them two in a pick and pop. You didn't see them in a pick and roll situation enough to me. And do you blame that on coaching or do you blame that on the superstars? Because if you look at the situation with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum at first, they were doing that. They weren't playing off each other. They were just playing hero ball. But then the other players came in, the coaching staff came in and said, nah, that ain't how it's going to work. We ain't going to win like that. When they did buy into it and they started playing the team ball, I think that it works that way. So now, do I go back to Luka and I look at the situation? The man had Rick Carlisle, which is a championship caliber coach. I said he had Porzingis on his team. Could they have added some better role players, better shooters? Yeah, you could have. But I don't know if Luka wants another person like that. I think he may want the team built, like you said, when they tried to do it with LeBron the first time in Cleveland, with just him, no other stars, and just a bunch of shooters. And I think they're going to try to do that with Luka. But like you said, that's not going to work to me. You need to go out there and get him a Donovan Mitchell. Go get him a Dame Lillard. You know what I mean? Go get one of them type of impact players and put it beside him, and then try to fill the roster in. If you ask me, in my opinion, how I think they should be built. I think you should get those two players and then build around that.
Yeah, because I think go back what you were saying. I think they probably should have already traded like a Tim Hardaway Jr. too, try to get something out of that. I try to get maybe some value for that because Tim Hardaway
long-term deal. Then they gave him a
yeah, they gave him they think he gave him a 3-4 year deal last year. I mean, he's a good player. Maybe he would have made a little bit of a difference in a series like this or whatever, but I still don't think he's consistent enough as a second go-to player or whatever. That's why I just feel like you said, a Donovan Mitchell, somebody like that, even like a Bradley Beal. I know Bradley Beal is in every trade in the NBA, but somebody like that would be to me, because Bradley Beal is more of a catch and shoot type player. He can take it to the cup, but he's not to bring the ball up to court. So you can basically scheme to get him plays off, and then when you got a great mind like Jason Kidd, he'll figure out how to use a Luka and a Bradley Beal, and Bradley Beal plays defense. So at least if you have one of your backcourt players that plays defense, you know what I'm saying, that can make a huge difference too. So I think that would be something they could go after, maybe try to figure out a way to get a Bradley Beal to go by Luka or whatever. To go back to Phoenix, and I've said this several times, and people kind of look at me sideways. I said that Devin Booker is overrated. He's not the guy that everybody think he is. And it shows. I said, because in moments he's consistent, he's consistent but inconsistent at the same time. And what I mean by that is, he'll give you his normal 20, 25 a night, whatever the case may be. But it's moments where he'll give you a 10 piece. He'll give you 15 points or whatever. And a consistent superstar doesn't give you that. If you look at Giannis, if you look at KD, if you look at LeBron, you look at James Harden when he was killing it, they didn't give you 10, 15-point nights. You know what I'm saying? They always gonna give you 30, even if they wasn't efficient 30 or efficient 25, they gonna still give you 25-point nights. You know what I'm saying? And not to put him in the same boat like a Michael Jordan, but the things that, I've been watching basketball for a long time. And the thing that always impressed me the most about Michael Jordan wasn't the fact that he give you 30, 35, or 40. It was the fact that if he's having a bad game, Michael Jordan could go into the fourth quarter with 10 points. If his team is losing and they need him to step it up, Michael Jordan, what he would do, he would drive to the basket. He would figure whatever he could got to do to get the points he needed to get for them to get over the hump to win that game. Even if he have a bad shooting night as far as, especially if it's mid-range or whatever not going, he going to figure it out. So great players figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I said with Devin Booker, he's not who everybody think he is, because you don't, in that last game, you don't play the way you played. Like the last couple of games, he did not play nowhere close to being a superstar. So that's why I always say he's overrated in what people they so much want these new stars to be, these new players to be these superstar players, and they giving him these crowns too early. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not there yet. And now speaking of which, that'll segue right into Jason Tatum. I love Jason Tatum a lot, and that's a lot for me coming from me because
I'm telling you, I'm sitting over here shocked.
Because I'm a Carolina fan, so for me to give a Duke player any praise is you know what I mean? Hey, they gonna run me out of the Tar Heel fan club, man.
I know it.
But I give people they just do. You know what I mean? Like I gave Kyrie his just do it early in his years before he started getting well, he always been crazy, but until he started really being inconsistent. But I gave Kyrie his credit. You know what I'm saying? I thought Zion was gonna be more, but he can't stay healthy. Of course I can go back to Grant Hill and say he was great. Jay Will was great before he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? But funny about Duke players, they either get hurt or something happen where they get put out the league for somehow, or they just don't play up to par when they get to the NBA. It's always something weird with Duke players. But anyway, getting back to Jason Tatum, last night's game is the perfect example of why he's not there yet, because of the fact that people want to put him, he top 5, but and I'm like, no, he's great, but I've said it. He, even as great as he's been playing in these playoffs, he's not top 5. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't go from having these 30, 40-point games to last night when your team needed you the most. Jimmy Butler gets knocked out the game. Y'all making this run, and you can't contribute. You play basically 40-something minutes. You score 10 points. If you're the superstar, you have to figure out how to how to at least get to 20. You know what I'm saying? Because that extra 10 points would have got them over the hump. So this is the reason why I say that he's on his way, but he's not that superstar yet, because I forgot how Kenny phrases it, but he basically, like, in the regular season, you make your game, but I think it's like in the playoffs, you make your
name.
You make your it's like something about, I forgot how it goes, but basically I gotta hear him say it again. But basically what Kenny Smith is saying, like, yeah, you a star in the regular season, but in the superstar, that's when you make your name. You know what I'm saying? So in the playoffs is when you make people realize who you really are. Like Giannis did last year when he put up that 50 piece in the final, in the closeout. Games like that, when the money is on the line, superstar players step up. That's why James Harden, you know what I'm saying, basically criticized because he doesn't step up in superstar moments. Now, to flip back to Phoenix issue is that Chris Paul is old. It's just bottom line. Devin Booker, as good as Devin Booker people may think he is, if your second rider is Chris Paul, because DeAndre Ayton is still trying to grow into who he is as a player, Chris Paul just old. That's just the bottom line. He's just old. You know what I'm saying? He can't give you certain things every night. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. But you know what I'm saying? So what you think about the Boston Jason Tatum thing, though?
So I look at it kind of like Kenny Smith, like you said. Through the regular season, you got a lot more. I think the casual, a lot more of the casual kind of wishy-washy fans, but then you got a lot of people that tune in the playoffs, like you said, that are long basketball fans. Like they watch the game of basketball. They love to see certain type of basketball played. So I think when you get to the playoffs, you don't get, like you said, many of those casual fans. So you look at the All-Star game. It's a fan vote. You know what I mean? If sometimes we look at the fan vote and we'll see people that are voted in the starters and they ain't even played all season. So that kind of tells you right there, like at the All-Star break, that a lot of the All-Star voting and the regular season stuff is not for the diehard basketball fans. So when you get in the playoffs and you're able to, like you said, drop a 50-piece consistently, you're able to get in there and drop 40 consistently. Your team losing in the fourth quarter, you come out, you might have 10 points, and then you end the game with, 31, something like that. Those are like superstar moments, and I think you have a lot more opportunity in the playoffs to just go ahead and put yourself out there, because a lot more of the diehard basketball fans are watching instead of like doing regular season. I don't even watch all the Hawks regular season games. And I'm a Hawks fan, but I just can't watch 82 games. Now, I'm not gonna watch every game. I'm not gonna tune in every day. You know what I mean? So I think that goes more to the point that Kenny Smith made, and why he made that point is because in the playoffs, man, it's just 16 teams. You get your time slot, and you keep moving on, and you keep progressing. So a lot of people who, maybe you haven't really watched that Devin Booker, you haven't watched Jason Tatum throughout the regular season. So if you only get the playoff version of these guys, this year you've had two different people. But I even said last year, man, when Devin Booker and Chris Paul was celebrating so hard that Western Conference Finals that they won. And I was just like, man, y'all ain't really accomplished anything yet. And for Chris Paul to even let y'all go to popping ballers and doing the Kobe celebration with the trophy in the corner and the jacket, that's a Western Conference Final. And I was like, man, them guys ain't gonna make it back. They might not ever make it back. Just being honest. Just because the way y'all won and celebrated, you got the mentality or the mindset, you know what I mean? Y'all done made it at this point. It's like Chris Paul, like I'm finally in the finals. So I agree with everything you said when it comes in regards to looking at Devin Booker, looking at Jason Tatum, or a superstar in the regular season versus a superstar in the playoffs. You want somebody when the money's on the line, you're gonna always do that. But I don't knock the regular season guys that much either, because it is a team game. And I look at teams, I look at players, like you said, like Trey, I like Luka. And I look at them and look at where they at in that stage of their career. I would look at a team like Kyrie and KD and look at them guys, and give them a lot more grief than I would a Luka or a Trey, because of that, how long they've been in the game and what you expect from a Kyrie and KD. When you put that team together, you expect, and we all expect for them boys to run basketball for at least the next 3 years. We all did, everybody. So for the fact of this, I love the NBA, man, because it's so much parity and teams can come up and down when they make the right decisions. But just to get back kind of to the ultimate point of what we were talking about with Luka and Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, it's hard to take that title from Steph, man. Steph ain't giving it. I mean, Steph Curry ain't giving that thing up easy. When it comes to the playoff king and playoff guys, Steph Curry is guy. So, we're going to see, man. I still got Golden State. I don't know, man. The way it's looking, I think Golden State is 6, and then Boston is 6. So
because I think like with Golden State, if you watch, Golden State is very consistent as far as bringing players in that fit a certain niche and mold and do certain things, and most of their players don't get out of character in what they do on the court. Like when I was watching the game yesterday with Dallas early on, even when they got a big lead, Friday night, I said I always kind of felt like Golden State was going to come back, because Dallas takes a lot of 3-point shots. They take a lot of bad 3-point shots.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't take like in the half court setting of a 3-point shot. They'll just come back and just throw something up. Like Luka start dribbling. And the only thing I like about the way they run their offense is Luka dribbles the ball. He's like a James Harden. He dribbles the air out the balls too much sometimes, and then tries to make a play at the end of the shot clock versus them kicking the ball around and getting the best shot. So I think that's one of the things they definitely going to have to adjust going into next season. As far as if they really want to win a championship, is learn how to get the ball to move the ball around and getting the best shot, and not just have Luka just do everything. Because one, they're gonna wear him out. Like that, make the same way that it had happened to James Harden. By the time you get the playoffs, he worn out. Two, in the playoffs, you have real coaches. See, if you think about it, most of the time you get to the finals, most of the time get to the finals, and you have coaches that actually know how to coach. They actually know how to make adjustments. They actually do certain things that's going to make your superstar players work and earn everything they get. So at the end of the day, if you look at Golden State, they pass the ball around. They're very unselfish. They don't care who takes the shots or whatever, but the right people takes the shots in most situations. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry. Very seldom does Draymond Green even shoot the ball unless he just, just feel like, okay, let me just throw something up. Defense play me honest, and then he'll make a few here and there. But most of his stuff comes in the lane off of rebounds or cuts or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
you think Luka would benefit from having a point guard there and like taking the ball out of his hand? Let's say if you put a Dame out there, you think a Dame Lillard with Luka would work, or do you think Luka still needs the ball? He just needs somebody to be able to just take their pressure off that time.
Well, I'm gonna answer that question. We're gonna be back on 910 Sports. We're gonna take a quick 30-second break, and I'm gonna answer that question when we get back here on 910 Sports. Okay, we back. So anyway, you say a Dame Lillard, and I thought about that. I don't think. I think he would need more of a. I would think, like I said, I think a Bradley Beal would fit better with him. I don't necessarily need he needs a player that has to take. I mean, Bradley Beal can bring the ball up the court, but I think he needs because Luka really doesn't play defense.
Nah.
So I think if you think about it, most great backcourts, one of the two players in the backcourt usually plays defense, and that's why Dame and CJ could never really get over the hump because both of them, they're kind of smaller players. Neither one of them really play defense. They score, but they don't play defense. So that was always their Achilles heel on the wing. So I think you need a player you just need somebody that can relieve Luka. Like put it like this: Luka needs a player he'll trust. So it's just like with LeBron. LeBron, he'll concede to a certain degree if he had a player he could trust. Like he'll concede a little bit to a Dwayne Wade. He was going to concede to Kyrie Irving because he's seen the talent.
Yeah.
So when you're a superstar and you the dominant player on the team, you need the superstar needs that other second that Robin, who they basically respect as much as they respect their own game. So I think that's really what it boils down to is that Luka looks around at what he has on the court, and it's nobody on the court he looks at and says he probably trusts Brunson to a certain degree, but like I said, can you really win a championship with Jalen Brunson? Let's stop. No, you're not winning a championship as Jalen Brunson being your second best player. It's just not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like Fred VanVleet in Toronto. As good as Fred VanVleet is, you're not winning a championship. They had to have a Kawhi there, and then then Siakam and people like that could be VanVleet. People like that could come along, but you're not going to have Fred VanVleet you're not even gonna have Siakam as your 1-2 punch to win a championship. That's not gonna happen because I even said that I think Toronto should trade Siakam or whatever, and try to build something a little bit different around maybe more and try to get another player to go with Fred VanVleet or something or even Fred VanVleet and then do something else. You know what I'm saying? But what's
KB,
going on, KB?
Hey, what's going on, boy? I thought y'all was.
thought we was in here talking wrestling.
And I was like, oh, he started his show. Okay, I guess we.
Yeah, I think we got it labeled wrong. That's the only thing. It labeled the Planet Velvet episode 1. So
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. We gotta go back and edit the labels because this came up in wrestling one.
You know what it was? Because I was setting up the Planet Velvet episode, and I'm probably, but I got it under 910 Sports, so I guess gotta change the label on it. So
Yeah, if you hit the edit at the top icon by the name, it'll let you go ahead and change all that stuff. So.
Okay.
So you can go
that's what me and Chris. Chris was in the chat. I was like,
Chris was like, I'm talking wrestling.
I was like, oh, wrestling. When I got up, I was like, oh, okay, they doing wrestling. All right, I may check it out.
Nah. Shoot, that's crazy. So I got to see what you're talking about when you say edit up there by the name.
I'll do it. I'll change it all.
Okay. Yeah. So I know why your cousin probably late though. Because he was at
boy.
last night.
What's the name of the city again? Man, they turned up. I'm looking at Jacob live all night, man. He was
he was partying. I said, "Oh Lord, that joker, he gonna be coming in late." You know what I'm saying? I said his old self think he could party with the young folks. Nah, them days over with. Them days is over with.
I remember I used to get sent down there for the summer when I was little. Boy, it wasn't no parties. It wasn't nothing but cows and darkness.
Yep. I believe it, man. South Carolina too. But yeah, we were just talking about the whole thing, because your cousin, he don't be wanting to give Luka his credit. And I said the thing about the game the other night. See, the last 2 games of these playoffs is really funny because both of these playoff series has been basically like speaking to the choir for me on what I've been seeing all year long, or for the most part. And I knew this was going to catch up with both sides, or not catch up and show what I've been talking about. With the Dallas series, I looked at it and it's showing how Luka basically hasn't no consistent help. You know what I'm saying? They dominated most of that game, but then when at some point you need you need that second player that can get you buckets on a consistent basis. Yeah, Jalen Brunson, he a nice player, but he's not that second dude that's gonna give you what you need every time. And Dallas plays bad offense too. Let's just put it out there. They throw up a lot of bad 3-point shots. They just be throwing up stuff just to see if it's gonna go in or whatever. And if they not hitting like I think Charles Barkley said, are they gonna be able to keep that up in the second half? And they couldn't keep it up. They couldn't keep all that crazy shooting they be doing. And Golden State, they started playing. See, people don't realize with Golden State is a power proficiently shooting 3-point shooting team, but they don't shoot a lot of 3-pointers on most nights. See, that's what people don't realize. Golden State can shoot threes, and they're very good at it, but they do a lot of cutting to the basket and get open shots, whether it's mid-range, going to the back, cutting to the basket. That's what people don't realize about Golden State. But anyway, it frustrates me because I feel like a lot of it's Mark Cuban, because he even did it under Dirk. Dirk never really had a second consistent player out of over a 20-year period. They just had that 1 year where, the 1 year where they was able to put together an ensemble of players that worked at that particular time. But in this era, you can't have one superstar and just say, well, everybody else just get in where you fit in. It's not going to work in this day and time.
Right.
So what do you feel like what you just seeing in this series and what I'm saying overall?
Yeah, look, I was watching the game halftime. It was like a little bit in the third. I was like, all right, man, this game over, man. I'm going to go ahead and check out. And I looked up and the game was over. And I was like, what happened? Like you say, their announcers, they were talking about how, the Mavs with this series, they were going in like on a live by the three, die by the three. Like, they're gonna play their way. And I mean, it's cool when everybody's hitting their shots, but realistically, if they were hitting threes like that, then they would be Golden State, Um,
Mm-hmm.
Golden, like you said, Golden State takes when they were in that, they were down by like almost 20 or like 18 in the second half. They were just doing a lot of 2 points, like a lot of cutting to the basket. They was taking those easy baskets, like keep up with the Mavs run, and they were like chopping
Mm-hmm.
down that lead little by little by just taking the easy shots, not trying to force it. And I mean, Luka, he does need help, man. Like you do need well, at least one. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be a center or a big man, but you need another scorer who, when Luca, is on the left side and they can swing it to the right real quick, he can be over there and isolate and do his thing. They need a player like that, and I don't know why they never got one, or why they don't have that. But every team has that. Like even the Warriors, man. Like you got Clay, you got Wiggins can still hoop. And you got the young boy Clay. That's a given. And what's the other dude?
Who?
Yeah, like you got guys who can ball out like on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So they just I don't see them getting beat, man. If they keep shooting like they shoot, nobody
Yeah,
can keep up with
yeah,
them.
yeah. I agree with that. I do feel like the thing about with Boston, if the Boston can figure it out and quit playing these inconsistent games, I feel like Boston could beat Golden State because they match up well with size and athleticism. So I think they match up, and then they can kind of go score for score. Miami Heat's problem is that Miami, just like if you're watching Game Two, it was Jimmy Butler and nobody else. So in the game three, Bam gave you something but will Bam will give you something every night. Is Tyler Hero ever gonna step back up again? So you don't know. And then now with Jimmy Butler's knee, you don't know how that's gonna affect the rest of this series. Um, because if you think about it, if everybody's playing at the same, if both teams are playing at the level they're supposed to play at, then Boston is to me is the better team. But Kenny Smith made a good point when he said the thing about with Miami. Miami, when they're playing their best ball, it's not about offense; it's about how great a defense they're playing when they're playing their best ball. So that means if they're playing their best ball, there's no way you could play your best ball on the same night. So it's just like it's like if I'm a it's like this is like in football. If I'm a defensive minded team, let's just say I'm the 85 Bears or the 2001 Tampa Bay Buccaneers or whatever. If they're playing at their best level and their best level is predicated on how great a defense they're playing on, and let's say you're the Patriots of what they had Randy Moss or you whatever one of these great team or the Rams, the greatest team on turf or whatever. There's no
Hmm.
way we could both play our best game on the same night because if I'm dominating on defense, you're not going to score, and vice versa. So the thing about it, if Miami Heat is playing up their best ball, Boston is going to only score 85, 90 points, and at best is going to be a slugfest. If Boston is playing on all cylinders, they're gonna put up 120 and shut you down, basically like how they did Miami the other night. So that's why I feel like at the end of the day, Boston is gonna figure out how to pull the series out, just
Yeah,
because I think they can do more in situations than Miami can or whatever. Because like you said, Jalen Brown gave you what 30, 40, like what 30, 40 something like last night. He put up numbers. Al Horford put up numbers. This goes back what I was just telling Steve, and I've been saying this kind of the last couple of years. But this year, I love Jalen Brown. I mean, Jason Tatum, and that's hard for me to even spit that out.
What? Wait a minute. Hold on. Say that again. I
You,
got to record this.
you heard me say that. You heard me say that earlier. I love Jason Tatum. I put it like this. I'm gonna tell you what Jason Tatum. I like Jason Tatum. I'm just going to put it out there. I like Jason Tatum ever since when he played at when he was in the what you call it kind of the summer league. When I seen him playing summer league, I said this dude gonna be a superstar. That's how much respect I have for his game in summer league. And so, but the thing about it is, Jason Tatum, he's one of the most consistent. Him and Devin Booker is one of those consistent, inconsistent players. They'll give you a 30 piece, 25, 30, but then they'll give you something like last night. And you'd be like, what? Like, what just happened? You know what I'm saying? And like I always said, LeBron, Kobe, Giannis, certain players, even if they're having bad shooting nights, they're still going to give you your 20 or 25. It may not be efficient, but they're going to give you their 25. You know what I'm saying? And like I was telling Steve-O, my biggest, see, people talk about Jordan, his playoff stuff, and all the stuff about Jordan, but I've been watching basketball since the 80s. And the most thing that impressed me the most about Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan, he would go in fourth quarters where he would only have 10 to 12 points and he have a bad shooting night. But in that fourth quarter, Jordan going to figure out how to get that last 10 or 15 points to get him over that hump. Win or lose, he going to get his points in and he going to figure out if he got to drive to the basket every time and make the referees call a foul or whatever. He's not gonna shoot. I guarantee you he ain't shooting no more jumpers if his game is called game off the rest of that game. And that's what superstars do. Superstars figure out how to, because like last night when they made that run to get back in the game, that was the moment Jason Tatum should have took over. Whatever he had to do, he had to take over that game. And he didn't do it. That's why he's not top 5 yet. Because in moments like that, when those moments come, those James Hardens that fail, those situations where you don't even Steph Curry, when he had his moments where he should have stepped up and didn't. These is why people say, yeah, he's the greatest shooter in the world and we ever seen, but he's had those moments where he didn't, he could have got him over the hump, and he didn't. Even when they lost to Toronto in the finals, if you think about that last game, Golden State could have won that game, but Steph Curry didn't step up in that game. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. So, and they had it. It was right there. It was for the taking. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't step up. So,
so I know earlier I wanted to, and you just reminded me. I wanted to mention something. We got off topic. Siaka. You talked about Siaka, trading Siaka, and them hitting reset up in Toronto. What would you think of Siaka would be good at? Like, what do you think? Like, who would he be good beside? What do you see Siaka? Because he can do a lot. He's a guy that can do a lot, man. He's a lot different. He's like one of them Giannis type players to me. Mm-hmm. He just don't have the body like Giannis have. To me, that's the only difference between him and Giannis.
He would do good in Dallas because, like I said, Siakam is not a number 1. Siakam is number 2 or number 3. But he's a consistent. He would be a consistent number 2. Okay. So he could be definitely good. And then he has that foreign that international appeal or whatever. He's an international player, and for whatever reason, because they need a border or whatever. But international players do good in the Texas market. Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, they do good. Okay. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. So people embrace international players in the Texas market.
Makes sense. Yeah. I never thought about it like that. That do make sense. Yeah.
So that's why I said he is certain. It might think about Siakam. Siakam could go a lot of places that already have a number 1. Like if he could do good in Phoenix, just because Devin Booker, even though Devin Booker is overrated to me, he could be a good 1-2 punch beside Devin Booker. I think he would actually be more consistent than having a DeAndre Ayton or whatever. Because think about DeAndre Ayton. See, Siakam can get his own shot too. DeAndre Ayton can't. He has to wait on somebody to get him the ball in a certain position, and DeAndre Ayton is not aggressive enough to demand the ball. So I think that if you got a player like Devin Booker, and you got a Siakam who basically, if let's say Devin Booker have a bad shooting night, then you could throw Siakam will pick up the slack and get the other 25, because at this point Chris Paul, he just old. Just it just is what it is. He's just an old player. He's not gonna be consistent with making shots every night. It just is what it is. I even seen a thing yesterday. They had like a scenario trade Chris Paul. I forgot who it was, but I know it had something where to get Bradley Beal and Ben Simmons over to Phoenix, and then to trade DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, it was like a 3-team trade or whatever. I know, but I was looking at it like the Wizards would get the raw end of the deal because I was like, how are they gonna trade their player and then they only get like a second round pick or something like it? It just didn't make any sense to me. I don't think the Wizards would do it, but the other teams would. But I got look. I wish I seen that. Remember the other team, but I knew it was the Wizards. It involved the Wizards, and of course, it had to involve um the Nets. But whatever. I think the Nets would end up with. I think the Nets was going to end up with like Chris Paul. I think or whatever, and then which almost kind of make sense because if you would have Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving, and uh, and KD, that actually could work. Because then you are asking Chris Paul to do absolutely nothing but just facilitate or whatever. Of course, Chris Paul gonna make certain plays, but you're not leaning on him to do as much. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
actually said that they had. I thought they were gonna let go of Aiden and make a play for another superstar. That's why I didn't think that they were gonna give Aiden that max contract that he wanted, or they didn't even offer him. I know they couldn't. They couldn't offer him a super max because you have to be an all NBA first team to get that. But they didn't even offer him the regular max. So I knew they weren't gonna keep him around when they made that offer, the first offer that they made him a John Collins type offer. And that's like, 5 years, 125 mil, something like that.
yeah.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, but that's kind of way. Well, because I think at this point they almost like I don't know if they really sold on DeAndre Ayton. And when you kind of play with a player's contract the way they've been playing with DeAndre Ayton, that's gonna make you not want to be there no way.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I just kind of believe that they might be better off trading them because especially when you're a young player and you kind of don't understand how the game how it kind of works whenever these kind of situations where it's business, but at the same time it's kind of um, I think it's sometimes it's difficult for a young player to wrap their mind around why we can't get this done type deal. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think in this situation they would be better off trading him and trying to see what they can get. Like I said, DeAndre Ayton because I know it was DeAndre Ayton going back to the Wizards. Well, it was like the Wizards in the second round pick. But I'm like, well, how would that help the Wizards? Because the Wizards don't have like a number one player other than Bradley
Nope.
Beal. And if you're not gonna
Yeah.
get my first round pick, you know what I'm saying? What that how would that work for them? You know what I'm saying? So that I was like, I don't know if the Wizards would go for that one. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. I
So
say I seen somebody some type of trade like that too. I've seen Atlanta thrown in the mix. I've seen Dallas. He said Dallas. I've seen them talking about him. He could go to Dallas, but I just don't understand why you wouldn't pay him. He's your first overall pick. He's improved every year. Is there a reason why y'all would say he shouldn't get paid?
I don't think he consistently dominant enough. Like when you think of paying a big man, you want them to play like, give me Embiid,
Embiid, Joker, I
Jokic,
got you.
or even if you just a presence like Adams in the middle, like what's that the goofy from the Jazz,
Rudy
Oh,
Gobert.
Gobert,
yeah,
Rudy.
like it will be a defensive specialist. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me some Draymond. Like, it's more of an effort thing with him. Like, there's like effort and heart. You have skill, but where's the
So,
effort? Like,
so for you, it's like it's something missing. Like the skill is
yeah, like
there,
it's
the
something
size is
missing.
there, the flair is there, but it's
Yeah,
something about it that he's missing that dog in him. If you ask me, he ain't
Yeah,
got
yeah.
well,
that.
It's
let me
like
let me
how
take this quick 30-second break,
Dog.
and then I'm gonna chime in on what y'all were saying because I just thought about something. We'll be right back on 910 Sports. Okay, we back now on sports. Yeah, because I think what I understand what you're saying because he's not like a live wire. He's not like a live body. He doesn't have that DeAndre Ayton. Even though they kind of try to put him in superstar status, and normally players that kind of give you um that live wire body type players usually role players, but
Mm-hmm.
his motor doesn't run high enough at times. I think that's why, like a Andrew Wiggins, that's why he could never be your best player because his motor wasn't, he wasn't built like that to what I'm saying, on a consistent basis. Because maybe because of his personality or whatever, but he
Mm-hmm.
never gave you that. He never made you believe, okay, we can believe in Andrew Wiggins, and then whatever like that. So I think that's kind of what DeAndre Ayton. That's why DeAndre Ayton,
And
because I think he wouldn't work good with like a Luca, because then he would kind of get lost in the shuffle. Because like we said, Luca is like a James Harden where he just dribble the air out the ball and then he'll figure out if he can't get a shot off, then he'll pass it to somebody at the last second and get a play. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But if you had a DeAndre Ayton, it's like you have to actually Jason Kidd would actually have to call plays for DeAndre Ayton to make sure he got the ball on a consistent basis. That's
right,
that's why
and
I think like a Bradley Beal or a Siakam would work better because you don't necessarily have to draw plays for them. You can basically just kick it to them and they can make plays for themselves. You know what I'm
like
saying? Whatever.
Aiton, I remember like everybody was like hype on Aiton, and I was one too. I was like, yo, because the intent, like everything on paper
He
sounds
looked the
like
part,
he should
bro.
be.
And he looked the
I'm
part.
I'm gonna tell you, you seen a Marvel's movie when Thanos beat up the Hulk and he
Oh
turned
man.
into the Hulk.
Oh
That
stop.
when
Stop.
Giannis went to school on him and
Stop.
like really just
Stop.
demoralized him, he ain't been able to turn back into nothing. Like he just can't get it. Yo, like that series, like watching that series last year, I was like, this
Yeah, he
is a
took bro.
grown man.
He
I've
took,
never seen somebody getting bullied and
yeah.
treated like this as a grown man at that size. And
Yeah.
ever since then, I was like, that ain't the guy you need. Not
I
in
would
your
at
big
least
man.
had to file out or get a text or two
Fam,
or
he looked bad.
flagrant
Like he went
one, flagrant two. You can do me like that.
Hey
right.
Steve,
And
hey Steve. Hey, I said this last year in the playoff, and I kept looking at DeAndre Ayton. I said, man, he looked like that dude in the hood that be riding around the Chevy Caprice selling weed.
yeah.
I do for
You know what
real.
I'm saying?
And the real dude smack him and take it, and he don't do nothing. He just drive away.
Yeah,
He's like, I'll be back.
he just look
I'll be
like
back.
that. It looked like when my mama was younger. It looked like somebody like my mom would date was in her younger years, like that old school cat that be having that old school, like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, one of them old
Yeah.
school classic cars that we have still had an 8-track in the car with the afro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just like he just got that old school look to him. And I'm like,
But
those
he
look
had that old school game though. He had that kind of game. If I could take Bobby Porter's mentality and put it in DeAndre Ayton,
oh my goodness.
you
Oh my
what the
Yo,
hell?
like Aiton, like I don't need Aiton to get 25 points a game. I need you to finish the game with about 3, 4 fouls. I need you to finish the game with about 22, 25 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? A couple assists, maybe 8 points.
Yeah.
I need you to be the
so,
guy in the middle to just don't let nobody get in this paint.
yeah,
That's how
yeah.
he's built. Like you're built to be that guy. But it's like Dwight in his Laker years, like just a shell of himself.
So
What is
would you rather have Aiden or Bam?
Bam.
But
yeah.
Bam go cold, man. Bam, like this now the last game he balled. But if you look like before this and the series before that, bro, Bam been ghost. Like Bam has really had an opportunity to put himself on that superstar pedal. And just like Icon was talking about with some of these other guys with Booker, Tatum, like y'all have these opportunities. You don't know how many opportunities you're gonna get to even do this, and you don't really take advantage of it. Like you messing up your bag.
Bam,
Oh, he got a bag already, but I thought Bam could have really like solidified himself as one of the top 5, top 10 players.
Bam shows that he'll do it. See, like the difference between Aiton, I ain't never seen him that he'd do it. Like it just seemed like it's not in his personality.
Yeah,
Bam, he just got to get turned up. And one of those things as a coach, you just have to find a way to turn him up or have a player on your team that's going to turn
yeah,
him up.
yeah.
But other than that, he's straight. Like you just got to get him Like,
And
you know,
Jimmy
sometimes
hurt.
got to get
I
smacked
think
before the
player
game.
gone. That player is gone to help him up. Jimmy hurt. I think Jimmy was that guy.
Yeah. But so, you know, some players got to get smacked before the game start. You know what I'm saying? Like
There you
the
go.
flip that switch.
And
He
that's the
might be that
thing.
type
Chris
of guy.
Paul has to be, everybody know how much Chris Paul to get in his players' heads, and get on them. And he has to do that too much with DeAndre Ayton. It's like
Way too
it's
much.
almost like what Shaq said. When you going against certain players in certain situations, he already knew, like, I got to step my game up. I got to come with it. I can't be, certain players will make Shaq like, he got to come with his A game. And DeAndre Ayton, like, when he played against Giannis, that should have been a challenge for DeAndre Ayton to say, oh, man, I got to bring it every night.
Yeah.
Man, Giannis took his cook, like, when you talk about
he
make
took
him
his
walk
lunch
a
money.
long way.
That was bad.
He took his lunch money last year.
Hey, he was like, don't come this way. Walk the other way.
Yeah.
How much coffee you done had this morning? Big bro, how much coffee you done had this morning, Jacob?
Not a drop yet.
None yet?
No.
He looks sleepy too.
That adrenaline, this last little bit of adrenaline wearing off.
Boy, I tell you. Have mercy.
What time you get in last night?
Yeah, like 3 or 5. Like 3 or 5.
Ooh, yeah, I know you tired. Shoot. So you have technical difficulties this morning getting on. You know, it's kind of
Yeah. The screen was black on the first link I had.
It might be my fault because I was trying to set up the Planet Velvet show, and I think I did something where I linked them together somehow. I don't know what I did, but whatever I did, it didn't, whatever. So, I mean, I think that's what threw everybody off. Everybody looking like, oh, they doing a wrestling show instead of our show this morning. So I'm like, where everybody at? But it's all good.
But we had a good time yesterday. In the mighty name of the country folks, we had a good time. And boy, look at here. Ooh, sweet baby Jesus.
This dude crazy.
Oh man.
Hey, y'all fellas had a good time though. Y'all was out there. Y'all definitely had a good time, bro.
I'm coming too. I'm coming.
Oh, yeah, I definitely got to get down. That definitely. What y'all got? Another one? Y'all got something coming up in June, right?
Yeah, we got some kind of August 6th. We got Ronnie Bell and Jemarious group.
Okay.
Put me down. I'm there.
I'm gonna try to see. I gotta see. Just see what my schedule looking like. Well, maybe.
Them boys had 3,000. They sold about 3,000 people, but it rained yesterday, so they still had a pretty good turnout of like 1,700, but they sold 3,000 tickets.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so man, that old boy from down his way, down in Texas, Tucker bring him out, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So right on the candy lane.
So maybe we've been talking about a lot with these playoffs and stuff, man, or whatever.
So back to that, man. I ain't gonna say you guys was wrong, but I'm gonna say that Jimmy ain't got no come on, bro. Like Jimmy still had 30. So them boys gotta play, man. And they got to play defense, man. They weren't even contesting on the 3-point. When you got a big man like Williams and 3-pointers in the corner, man, you ain't contesting them shots, man.
You talking about Grant Williams?
Yeah. You got to contest Boston on every perimeter play, man. Because if you don't, they're gonna kill you.
You talking about last night game, or you talking about the game before?
I'm talking about game 4. I'm talking about the second game that Jimmy Butler lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's why I was telling them earlier is that the thing about with this series is that like Boston has more players that are gonna give you consistent play, more of a Miami will on the offensive end. And Kenny Smith made a good point. He said if Miami playing its best ball and Boston playing their best ball, it's no way they can play their best ball on the same night because Miami's best ball is predicated on defense. Boston best ball is predicated on everybody being able to contribute offensively. So that's why it looked like it did the other night where it was like so lopsided because Boston was playing their best ball and Miami basically wasn't playing no defense. Now, when Miami plays defense, Boston can't get off. So they both can't have the same. It's like if you think about it, Jacob, it's like whenever, like I compared it to like if you playing against the 85 Bears and the 85 Bears is playing against, let's say, the greatest show on turf, both of them can't get off on the same night because one is predicated on defense, the other one is predicated on offense. So one of them gonna get off, the other one ain't. If they both playing their best ball, there's no way you can do it on the same night. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I kind of compare it to. You know what I'm saying? So did you hear what I said, Jacob?
No, I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. I was saying.
I was actually sending the guest the new link.
Okay. What I was saying is that the thing about what Kenny Smith was saying was if Miami playing their best ball and Boston playing their best ball, they can't do it on the same night because Miami best ball is predicated on their defense. Boston best ball is predicated on everybody getting off, as a unit. So I was comparing it to like if you playing against, let's say in football, you playing against the 85 Bears, right? You playing against the 85 Bears, and then you playing against the greatest show on turf. They can't get off on the same night. Both of them can't have the best game of their life on the same night because one predicated on defense and one predicated on offense. Feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was saying. But we got our guests on. I'm gonna let you introduce the guests, and then we'll get into this interview.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Okay, so we have. I don't want to get his name wrong. So how's it pronounced?
It's Jemarious.
Jemarious, what's going on, man? Good morning. Welcome to the 901 Sports Show. How are you?
I'm all right.
Good. So we're gonna get into you as an athlete, man. And I see that you are a 3-sport athlete. Football, basketball, and track. And so, how's this season been for you? This current season, this school year been for you in each sport?
I would say in football, I had to be patient because when I first got there, I wanted to play wide receiver. Excuse me. But my second day, they needed corners, so I had to make the switch. And it was seniors ahead of me, and I wasn't where I needed to be. Well, I wasn't where I need to be to start. So, I was trying to get there, and I was trying to rush to get there, and I had to be patient because I didn't get enough. I didn't get the playing time that I wanted.
Okay. So with you not getting that playing time that you wanted, how did it work for you as far as you kind of really thinking about it, having a different thought process to even make you go harder?
I already had that mindset that I needed to work harder because when I was at Richland Northeast, I wasn't where I wanted to be.
Okay. And so from making that transition to wide receiver to cornerback, was that difficult for you?
Yes, it was very difficult. But
how so?
Because I never really studied different positions. I just studied my own position. So when I made the switch, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew a little bit because athletes, and I had to get my
Okay. That's what's up. So I'm gonna turn it over to the host of the show, Icon E, and we're just gonna keep the questions coming.
Yeah, how you doing, brother? And how you doing? Is that your mom right there?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mom?
I'm doing good. It's morning, and we had to make a switch with the new link that he made. So.
Okay. That was on me, so I do apologize. I kind of it's something else. Yeah. So, but that
It's
was over
okay.
here.
Things happen. We just readjusted.
But yeah, you loosen up, man. We gonna have a good time, man. You don't got to be so serious, man. Loosen up. We gonna ask you nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta think so hard about the answers. You know what I mean? Or whatever. But anyway, so at what age did you realize or did you see that you actually could be good on in football or in sports in general?
I'm gonna say when I started playing Pop Warner. When I started playing Pop Warner, I never played football before. I never played basketball or anything. I just started playing football, and I got out there my first day, and it was like he got some talent.
Oh, okay. So in football, so when you play, whether you play wide receiver or corner, who do you in NFL wise? Who do you like study or who do you look to say that this is a player that I need to look at to kind of hone my skills after or to get to a certain level? Who's that player?
My favorite player I looked at for a wide receiver is definitely DK Metcalf because he always has that mindset that nobody's better than him, and my father has always taught me, my mother has always taught me, I need to have that mindset that nobody's better. And for a corner, I'm gonna say Jair Alexander.
Okay. So do you, when you're on the field, do you play with that type of aggression or that type of, when you on the field, is that what you thinking on every play? Like, oh, he not gonna beat me or on this play, or I'm gonna beat him on this play or whatever. How do you? Is that your mindset when you're on the field?
Yeah, that's my mindset because you gonna have you have to show me that you have to show me because you can beat me on one play and then the next play you're not gonna beat me. So that's just how it is.
Okay. I'm gonna give it over to KB, but do me a favor, slide a little bit towards your left so you get a little bit more in the camera. There you go.
See?
Okay, yeah, KB, you got any questions for him?
Yes. So as a player, are you more physical or finesse?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say finesse, but
Finesse.
I'm in between because sometimes I can be physical, sometimes I can be finesse.
What you like more? You like you know what I'm saying, maybe getting that nice pick on the sideline, or you a flipper guy?
I like head toss.
Nice. Now, Trayvon Diggs, right, for the Cowboys.
Yeah,
He
I
was
know what you mean. This.
he was a wide receiver his whole life until he went to Bama, and they made him go to a cornerback, and
Yeah,
now he's pretty good for the Cowboys. And I'm not gonna give him too many props because Jacob's a Cowboys fan.
Hey, Jacob's my boy with that one. I gotta say, I got stepping on that one.
Oh no.
Now,
Yeah.
We got to end this interview early.
We ain't gotta give him props. I'm gonna give him props because he good.
Hey.
That's
Now, how
kind
do
of
you
something
feel?
that I talked to him about, though.
Oh, sorry.
That's
So go
kind of
ahead.
something that we talked about because they in transitioning was telling me he needed to study more the different positions and to allow himself to be more open and become more valuable by learning different positions because we were setting up to work with trainers and stuff to be able to get him physically able to be able to maneuver in between the different positions because that is a big change to change the different to go from one position to another, especially in you weren't experienced with them. That was the biggest challenge is just basically getting out of his own head. But one of his biggest challenges in starting into the field of football was just overcoming asthma because being asthmatic, that was the biggest challenge. It was the delay in becoming athletically involved. So we had to go through a transition from sports to build up to be able to play this sports, which is high impact, high endurance, and definitely really, really heavy on cardio. Yes, they push weights, but cardio is big.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Now,
was something big for us. That was the biggest challenge for me. with him. I have to speak from Mama's perspective.
Hey, that's
Okay.
real. That's real.
Yeah,
'Cause
glad you said that.
it's definitely a mindset, especially that's the knowledge and stuff. Especially coming from someone that's older, they have a different mind, a different viewpoint, and a different vision as far as trying to get you to that, to the same um, area. So as far as switching the corner, the as far as the mechanics, it's different hips and things like that. But attacking the ball, man, like, did you ask your coach like, hey, why do you see me as a corner, and kind of pick their brain as to what they see in you that makes you be that next guy?
Oh, well, definitely. My second day out there, he came to me and we was in the gym. He was like, "You got great length, you're tall, you got good arms, and you look pretty fast. Why don't you come to corner for a day?" I was supposed to only go for a day and go back to wide receiver, but I went there for a day, and he was like, "You're next. You're basically next." So
Hey,
yeah,
hey, that's what you want as a player. You definitely want that your coach to see something special in you, to be like, hey man, I know what you want to do, but I'm gonna try to open you up to something special within yourself. Now, you familiar with Travis Hunter?
yes, I watch Travis
Okay.
Hunter all the time.
So so how, like, watching him, it seemed like him going to HBCU, being number one player, but also he's both sides. Like, he's a top rated corner, he's a top rated wide receiver. Like, is that something that you would like to envision yourself to be like nice on both sides?
I would, but right, I heard that the more versatile you are, the more important you are. So if I can be whatever they want me to be, then that's what I'll be for right now.
They are, man. Like, you look at when you look at history of guys who, in the NFL, who are all stars. A lot of them just played wherever the coach needed them, and then it gets fine tuned as they get to like college, like Joe Hayden and Diggs, Stephon Diggs. Like, they were in high school, they were quarterbacks and running backs and receiver, linebacker. Like, they were just everywhere. And then when you get to the next level, your coach kind of puts you in that particular location, that particular spot to, exceed. But in high school, man, you look at the guys who go to the next level, they play everything. They
Mm-hmm.
play, because everything translates to each other, like linebacker to corner to wide receiver, quarterback, learning how to read a defense. And it's a lot that actually helps the other positions. So, I would say, man, just when you go into next season and getting ready, just look forward to it. Use your skills as a wide receiver, knowing how to high point the ball and knowing what techniques and how they run routes to play defense. Like, knowing, like, all right, this puts up, he's probably going to run this route, and it'll make you a better corner by just anticipating what the wide receivers do, and your coach will get you right, man.
All right. Well, we're gonna take a quick 30-second break, or whatever, to commercial break. We'll be right back because it's something I want to say before Jacob take back over the questions. So we'll be right back here on 910 Sports. Okay, we back. We back here on 910 Sports. We
Steve
got
had a question
high
too.
school player Jemarious from South Carolina. It's Columbia, South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Hopkins,
Huh?
Hopkins, Hopkins, South Carolina.
Hopkins, South Carolina. What's that near? Is that near
That's
Columbia?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a part of the Columbia metropolitan area. So
Okay, yeah, I got a lot of family. I got family that grew up out there, so I used to go there every summer as a kid or whatever with my aunt family. But anyway, one thing I want to say before
Steve
Jacob,
got a question when you're done, Icon.
huh?
Steve wrote me and said he had a question that he wanted me to ask.
Okay.
when you're done.
No problem. So I did want to say this before Jacob took back over the questioning or whatever. Is that we moms, y'all have a very difficult job when it comes to raising boys, especially and moving around with them in sports. And I do want to give moms her props because a lot of mothers they'll be out there with the players, but they don't really understand what's going on. They just support. And you actually got knowledge and understand what's going on. So that's going to even be a big help in his career into knowing what to do. Because dads, we know sometimes what's going on, but for the most part, we dealing with our boys. But when the moms know, that's an added boost. So I do want to salute you for that. That you actually know what's going. You actually know who players are, know what he needs to do to get better. So that's big. You know what I'm saying? When a mom knows that. But KB, what's the question he got?
Well, he asked, I guess, who you model your game after the most. But I think you said Jair Alexander, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
said that. Yeah. So Jacob, go ahead. You go with the question.
Okay, so I got one last question when it comes to football. As far as football and how you see the game. What is your favorite defense?
My favorite defense, cover 2.
Okay. And so, why do you choose the ever so great cover 2? I mean, it's been around. It's been around since Jesus was a baby, so that cover 2 been around forever. So why do you choose the ever so great cover 2?
Because they like to run a lot of short routes, and when I sit on the flats, I just either get a big hit or I get a pick. Usually.
Okay.
And I like highlights, so I'm gonna make me a highlight.
Okay.
I like that aggressive corner.
Now, he very much is. He very much is.
How tall are you?
How tall am I? I'm 6 foot.
And what grade you in?
I'm in the 10th grade.
Oh man,
he got time to grow.
Man.
Hey mom, he got.
Hey man, listen, man. 6'4", 6'5", 245. Run by the 43 to 40. Oh yeah.
Well, my
240. Look, he that big. He's gonna have him playing linebacker or tight end. Ain't no DB on 245. Nah.
Why not? if he's still running 4.3 to 40, man.
That's a lot of weight to be doing that running.
He'll be a linebacker if he want. He's
245. They'll change his whole position for that.
So man, you realize how big T.O. was, right? And in high school, he played corner and wide receiver.
Yeah,
he was special.
He's saying that because he
T.O. went on 245.
T.O. anomaly. T.O. don't come around. T.O. don't come around every day.
Right, but being like that tall, like that's more of like a Rogers Cromartie, like those guys are 6'3" guys, Westry, like it's guys that are that size who can just flow. Like they play small, and they take away everything. Like Richard Sherman, he's tall and he's probably more of a corner of your style. Like you like that cover 2. That's where he made his living, in that cover 2, cover 3. And you see what he's done. Like I would say,
he talk trash. He talk trash. He's very aggressive. So people who said they're aggressive on any sport, they talk trash. I like them type of people. I like them type of people.
You talk trash, Jemarious.
I never have my mouthpiece in when I do scrimmaging. I never have my mouthpiece in. I'm always talking.
You always talking.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Jalen Ramsey, huh?
So hold on. So what's the kind of stuff you say to another player on the field?
If you can say in front of your mom.
What you can say in front of your mom.
I'm not supposed to know none of it. I'm not supposed to know none of it, but I'm on the sideline looking and shaking my head.
Yeah, she knows. She might not hear you, but she know.
Oh, I do, because I'll see the expressions on their face, and I see their eyes get big. So I'm looking like, what did he say?
It's mental, man.
Just shake my head like I don't even want to know.
Wide receivers, they're gonna start like they show signs, but like they just be talking. They don't be trying to hit.
It's a big difference in the way they play. They don't play as aggressive sometimes. So to have somebody that come out there and really kind of talk and kind of almost engage them or force them to engage them, kind of, it seems like it sometimes throws the other team off. It seems like when they do that for some reason, because we seen that in what was it?
You know why I think it.
Chapin or
You
something
know,
like that. Was it Chapin?
No, that was Floor.
Okay, yeah, Flora. They weren't used to that type of gameplay where you think they're going to run one route, where they're going to use, what was it, blitz, or did they rush that one?
Can't say that. It's confidence.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. I be at the 707s and all that stuff too, learning the routes too. So whenever they're gonna do a lot of the rushing and all that stuff, then it's like whatever route you think they're gonna go, just it's always something different.
Now,
you know why I think it's like that
7-on-7?
too. Oh my bad. I was saying the reason why I think it's like that with the wide receivers at that age because they thinking so much about what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? With the route they got to run, and you know what I'm saying, making sure that they on the same page with the quarterback, make sure they lined up right. So when a player like Jemarious coming, he talking junk, they like, oh shoot, you know what I'm saying? They ain't got time to talk junk and listen and know what they got to do at the same time because they're gonna probably throw them off. So you know, especially at that level, you know what I'm saying? So you know, but anyway, what you saying, KB?
Steve-O, he put in, do you do a lot of 7-on-7?
Yes, I was going to do 7-on-7
This month.
During I think basketball season, but I started playing basketball, and then we do 7-on-7s at LR. We actually have a 7-on-7 June 30th.
Okay. Now, are you gonna now that you're in 10th? You're in a 10th, right? So you'll be going to 11th next year. Will you be utilizing camps?
Yes, I'll go to a lot of camps over the summer.
Okay. Yeah, that's how the kids get in there and show what they got nowadays. The camps, for sure.
Once I get my 40 time, I should get a few coaches testing.
Okay, so you real. So have you already timed yourself in the 40?
I ran the 100-yard dash, but I never ran a 40.
What you getting 100?
I ran like a 12, a low 12 something. 12.
Okay. You gonna what schools, like, around this time, recruiting starts to pick up, plan. Where'd you like to see yourself? If you had a bunch of letters in the mail, like, who you looking forward to, hearing from?
I want to say my top 3 are University of North Carolina, University of Virginia, and
was it Tennessee? Or some Ducks.
North Carolina State.
Yeah, I had a nephew that went to state. He actually played for the Detroit Lions now. So yeah, he played for NC State. So yeah,
I used to live in Oregon, but
Oregon. I got a nephew to play for Oregon.
Yeah,
his brother plays for the Oregon Ducks now. He a linebacker. He a DT. He a DT at Detroit. His brother is a linebacker at Oregon.
We gotta get.
But if Oregon want to negotiate, we can negotiate.
He wanted to go to Oregon so long that it's kind of strange to hear him say the other schools. So it's like, what? I thought you wanted to be a Duck.
Hey man, well the Ducks have
they're still in the top 5. They're still in top 5.
Yeah, Dan Lanning, he's our D coach. Look, I got a flag behind me. We got one kid over there. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I was hoping you
they're not bad. That team is not bad at all. They're not bad at all.
I hope you go say the U, Miami. That's what I hope.
So is it important for you to stay home or like stay close to home, or are you just like, hey man, you have these schools in your mind, like Oregon is opposite side of the coast,
If you give me the opportunity, I take it. I'm not really big on staying home. I'm really big on pursuing my dreams, and I'll make sure I get back to my family though.
He ain't got to worry about mommy. I'm gonna travel.
Or you could just go to,
travel.
Clemson, bro. For real, for real.
Nah, don't go there. That's
Yeah,
it.
or you could just go to Clemson.
Look, I'm
Hey man, hey man.
Somebody said,
You can
boo.
you can go with a team is that out of all these teams on here that's won recent championship. That's what you can do.
Oh, man. Look,
Hey,
Clemson's a sinking ship, man. Don't do it, man.
Yeah. Call it what you want to call it. Recent championships. The only team in history that beat Alabama times.
Georgia.
Clemson Tigers.
Because
Yeah.
Georgia, Alabama is huge.
I think Georgia.
Yeah.
I love watching those games. Them, Tennessee, and the Florida.
well, that being said, though, also I know Mom and Dad probably care about this part too. That being said, outside of being going to the NFL, if you going to college, what would be something else what would you pursue as far as going to school for? Because reality has it where, of course, even if you go play in the NFL or whatever for 10 years, you got to have something to do when you get out. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you still have to have some kind of plan in place, you know what I'm saying, as far as getting your degree and understanding whatever school you go to, where they have the program for you to be able to pursue, to be able to have some kind of career, whether you made it to the NFL or not, or any athletic level. So what would you want to do when you got to college?
Once I get to college, I want to do sports medicine.
Okay.
And that's really what I want to do since I started to plan on. Oh, I want to make the NFL because I already knew I had to have a major in the backfield plan.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as, like you said, you play basketball too. Let's get into that part. You know what I'm saying? So basketball, so I'm guessing you 6 feet. So are you the point guard? You the two guard? You know what I'm saying? You play both. What's your thing in basketball?
Usually, I can't dribble, so I usually play the 2 and the 3. I can dribble, but not enough to be a point guard, if you know what I mean.
Okay,
so I usually get put in the 2 and the 3, and I play pretty well. I play defense a lot. Good defense.
Okay. So you the defensive stop on the team.
I'm the defensive guy. Yeah.
Okay, so does the coach scheme it like that, where he'll say, "Well, Jemarious, we want you to own the best player most nights"? Is that how how the coach look at you in that regard, is putting you on the best player most nights?
He puts me against the best offensive player.
Yeah,
and I usually give him a challenge. So
okay. Because I ain't gonna lie, I never played like that level up to, like, I played like middle school a little bit and like up through like recreational ball or whatever. I know, because I was real small. I was like 5'3", 5'4". I was real little. But my thing was I predicated playing defense. So even if I played at the park, at the gym, I didn't care. Whoever was the best player out there, my friends knew, put him on him, because if nothing else, I'm gonna be like Patrick Beverly. I'm gonna get in your head. I'm gonna talk junk. You not got to dunk on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna rough you up. I'm gonna do all that. So if you was a finesse player, you did not like playing against me, because I'm gonna give you hell on the court. You know what I'm saying? That's how
I would much rather you say that you're gonna be like Gary Payton and Patrick Beverly, man.
Right.
I would really much rather you say that, man. That you be like, because just to compare yourself to Patrick Beverly, I just don't really think that it's justice, man. So
he might know. He know who Gary Payton is. He probably know who Patrick Beverly is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure he knows.
So many other defenders that you could use.
I'm just saying, man. But as far as I goes, I'm just saying in our era, Kenneth. You know what I mean? Yeah. He was the club. You know what I mean? So, but defense is something that I'm glad you play, because most people don't know it exists these days. So kudos to you. You know what I mean, for playing defense. Because we can look at the NBA right now, and Where's the defense? Where?
Yeah.
It's not a lot. There's not a lot, man. So I'm glad that you use that ability, you know what I mean, to really lock people down, lock the defenders down. That's why they got you guarding the best player. So for you offensively, would you say that you're a guy that goes straight to the cup? Or would you say that you got a 17-footer? Or would you say that you can play from the perimeter? Which is your most valuable asset?
My most valuable asset is definitely going to the rim because I can shoot, but I choose not to shoot because
Okay.
unless I have the shot, but most likely when I have the shot, I have the lane, so I'm taking the lane always.
Okay. So are you going to the rack and yamming on them yet? You know?
No,
Are
not yet.
you ain't yamming yet? Okay.
I'm dunking, but I'm
But
not dunking.
but when you do, I'm gonna need that video clip. For real.
You gonna get it.
I
You gonna
post
get it.
all the
You
videos.
gonna get it.
I video them every game.
I'm
But you know,
just
he did this little change in height within this
right.
past since January. Like he went from being basically 5'8" to this height right here in a we went shorter than that. So from like June till August, we did a height change, and then from 5'4" to 5'6", and then from like January to now we did a major height jump. So it's like adjusting to being that height and learning your height. So that's in itself for when you have young players, they're learning their body from football season to now. His height has changed drastically. Like
what's Pop's height?
He's short.
He said short.
He's 5'6.5". So the height comes from my side of the family.
Okay.
Because on our side of the family, my dad's 6'3", my brother's 6'4", and so we have tall people. And
got you.
And so the height came from that side of the family. So when he turned 15, I was like, wow, we got some height. I said, oh, we're gonna be all right. But then we hit going to school, and I was like, wait a minute, hold up, them pants is not fitting this thing.
Slow down a little bit.
And no, it wasn't no slow down. It was like, let's speed up. It got faster.
Oh yeah.
From football in the fall to now, they're getting ready to start the spring conditioning, which they're doing now. Now he's finished with track right now. He has had to learn to change his stride and all of that just by the height changes, and that in itself for players, I think that's something that
very hard.
Yeah, that was a mental change and a physical change that was going on, because he was thinking he was still that short 5'8", 5'7" individual, and you were not running. You can't run that way. You can't run routes that way. You can't run on the track that way. It's like, dude, stretch your legs out. They are long.
Yeah, learning how to.
So out of all three, you got all three of these sports, and I'm assuming football is your favorite sport to play, right?
Of course.
So out of all three of these sports, what as far as what you do on the football field, what can you take away from the other two sports that helps you on the football field?
Football is good for your hips. You need good hips. So when you go in basketball, crossovers and ball handling drills help with your hips. And then track always helps with your speed and your endurance for football. So I always look at those as stepping stools and conditioning and things of that nature.
Okay, so go ahead, Jacob.
Okay, so with that being said, you just had regions in track, right? Y'all, you did you go to state or?
We just had state.
Right. And so, was that your first experience going to state?
Yes.
And so, how was that experience for you? Like what was that like for you? You know, as a track and field athlete.
Hot and very very packed. The first time I noticed, because I'm just not getting back. My first time I noticed that this track season ain't gonna be how I thought it was the Diamond Hornet Invitational. It was like 50 teams there. and I'm like, I didn't know that many people in the that was that close. So we finished pretty good in our races. So
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Would you be the three sport athlete? I just want to know, man, because you know me and your mom friends, man. Like, bro, you eat a lot, right?
yeah, I eat a lot.
You eat a lot. You athlete, of course, you eat a lot. So you know, what are some of the nutrition regimens that you guys have to be on? Do you have that coach that wants y'all to be disciplined during football season? You should eat this. You shouldn't eat that. What are the conversations that you and your coach have about they don't have any nutrition? You know, cause some schools want you to eat this at a certain time, or they want you to eat this for football, this for basketball, or this for track. So, do y'all ever discuss, you know, stuff like that?
Um, no, they don't. My coach, he tells us eat, he tells us drink, make sure you eat, and he always wants to make sure we're okay, make sure we're hydrated, make sure we're all right, and
He makes y'all drink milk after practice.
he makes sure we have our nutrition. We have a nutrition room, and he he makes sure we straight. He don't like us being dehydrated, being hungry. One day I came in there, I didn't eat. It was morning workouts, and he put me to the side. He was like, "Did you eat?" I said no, and he gave me something to eat. So he really tells us to start eating right. But that's really something that as an athlete you should know. But he makes sure you know, because freshmen and things of that, they don't really have that mindset just yet, unless they do.
Right.
So his coach does. He wants them to make sure they're taking vitamins, taking definitely staying hydrated, getting their electrolytes. He definitely makes sure that they're getting the calcium, especially after their practices and stuff. So he actually had a room set up and certain things to eat. He told them not to eat all that junk food because it's gonna slow them down, make them sluggish. So he does well in the parent group that we have. He's more specific with us, telling us, hey, making sure they're eating certain things. This is what I'm doing. Some of the parents are mom. Some of the parents, we take turns in making sure that we're supplying the stuff they need. Like we learning Powerade versus Gatorade versus Smart Water. What's going to give them too much salt? We're learning all that stuff in that particular group that they have. I already knew a lot of that stuff because I was doing some sports myself. But at the end of the day, to see how intricate he is about it, he's definitely into making sure they have wellness. That's their top priority.
Okay,
Because
cool.
you
So,
can't be a good
and
athlete if you're not healthy. You got to make sure
right,
what you're putting in your body is going to fuel your body the right way.
right. And so Jay, would you having an athletic mom and a military mom?
Hey,
Listen, man, that's like that's like a double whammy. You know, like you know, she's athletic, and you know she's military, so she really know about the endurance and you know how to be in shape and how to stay in shape and you know how to put weight on, how to take it off. You know, because she's been in that military for quite some time now. So does that help you in a lot of ways? Do you feel like you have an advantage over other kids?
I never feel like I have advantage over other kids because I don't know what that kid's going through, and I just feel like the only advantage that I have over you is that you're not going to beat me. That's the
Mm,
Okay.
advantage I have.
Now I got a question,
mm.
right?
You
I
sound like
like to,
Mayweather.
yeah,
You
it's
sound like
I
Money
like to ask.
Mayweather. Yeah,
I
that's
like
what
to.
I'm talking about.
also the biggest thing is nobody's that's not your competition. The competition is you from
Just
yesterday. And that's what I tell them every time you
Mm.
go out there. When you run a race, look at what you made in the last race. When you played on that last field, look at what you did and see how you can make better on that. That's just
Mhm.
been the thing since I was young. nobody's really your competition. I don't care if you are in a competition. You are only in competition with the you that ran just a few minutes ago. What was your time? What was your score? What did you miss? That is the competition that you need to be. You don't. It don't matter if y'all lost that game. What did you do in the process that matters? So
Nice.
that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of more so my fault because that's my thing. That's not your
That's real
competition.
though.
Don't watch them.
Yeah.
Watch
That's
yourself. Stay
that's
focused on
real.
you.
Hold yourself accountable.
Yeah,
That
because
is
if,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what you look at. Because every game, I'm like, okay, well, what did you do? Well, I
Mm-hmm.
could have done this. Okay, well, the next game you go out there, then don't do that. And if you did something that you did good, sit back and remember. It's called self-reflection. You got to check on yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
man, learning that at in 10th grade is going going to help sustain you for a very, very long. I'm telling you, because a lot of people don't even realize that till they become adults. So you getting some gems that definitely use that uh, to further yourself. Now I want to know trash talking. Like I can see mom, she might be in the stands. I could probably hear her. Getting in the ref's ear. You know what I'm saying, letting people know, like what's going on in the field. When you're on the track, right? So you talk trash on the football field. I know how that is. When you're in the track and you get in them blocks, you still talking trash.
I'm not gonna say I talk trash. I'm just gonna say I say a few things like I'm like getting in and be like, you gonna really set your blocks like that. Like, all right.
Okay,
And
I like
then
that.
I study them before they even I do a lot of studying. I study them before they even start running. I try not to get too much in my head because once I start getting in my head, it just starts messing me up. So
Mm-hmm.
get my head
I
out
like,
when I'm getting on the blocks.
Yeah,
now,
because you come off them blocks wrong. What after that first one, you get disqualified, don't you? Oh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so
the
you
first few steps
definitely
is
can't
it.
mess that up. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
Yeah.
does your track coach work with your football team too?
No, my track coach doesn't. But
So does because running, like track running and football running, you know, kind of two different things. Like, does your coaches, work together with you per se, so that way you kind of can get into that motion to where your body is just naturally running the right way for both.
I really no, not really. But the football coaches do, they would like you to run track for football. But I did a lot of sports this year so I can get used to my body
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't used to it before. After I hit 5'10", I wasn't used to it. Like I started taking shorter steps. I started to walk like shorter, and then I just couldn't take as long as steps. That's how I taught my body was.
Mhm.
Okay. We're gonna take one last 30-second break, and then we're gonna come down and ask you a couple more questions and get y'all out of here. But we'll be right back here on 910 Sports.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. We back here on 910 Sports. And so the one of the last questions that I have is, so going into your junior year, what is in football, what is some of the goals that you have in place individually, and then what you would like to see from your team, because now you're an upperclassman, so your leadership is going to be very important going into these last couple of years, and on the football field, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You're going to be looked at more as a leader on the team. So what do you see yourself individually accomplishing, and what the team accomplish?
Some goals that I have is to get my first Division 1 offer, or my first offer in general, and it's to get a 3.9 GPA. 3.9
Okay.
GPA is what I'm shooting for. And
So what do
I
you have
really,
to do before you go on? When you say get your first division offer, what do you see yourself, like your mom saying, things that you have to do? What do you have to do as far as on the field to get that done? Like what do you have to improve on the
I have
most?
to
You
get
have to improve
a
on.
lot of more stats. I have to get a lot more stats.
Okay.
I had to show them that I'm a dog, basically. So I got to show them that I'm the guy that they want, and hopefully they give me an opportunity.
Okay.
that's right. That's right. That's right. That's
I'm
right.
sorry,
You,
y'all.
Steve in the chat,
yeah,
acting stupid.
yeah, man. You definitely gotta
So
have the it factor, man. The it factor, yeah, for real, for real.
I think
On all levels.
yeah, I think when you get to go to these camps, like I think a lot of how they evaluate stuff now with players, they don't do the work like they used to as far as like coming to all the games and really getting in the mud. They really just look at those camps. So I think when you start going to those camps, you're gonna definitely turn some heads. Just being how big and fast as you are and as young as you are, that's a mean combination. Like you getting a head start, really getting a head start.
We're already getting some people that are reaching out in the different fields. I definitely get a lot of calls for the basketball, but we're starting to get calls to come to the football because they're also seeing the videos from him on the track. And they also were able to kind of go back in some of the history and see some of the footage from him when he's did a pick out there or when he's done ran some type of routes on the actual field itself. So it's been kind of good to hear that from the different schools. Now that in itself is a new experience for me from um, the football aspect. The basketball, we hear that all the time. We hear about things they see you want to be this place to hear that, seeing the potential here, meeting with the coaches to do this, but to now start getting the football calls, that's a little different in some of the things they want to say and do, and it's just a different experience. So we're gonna see with this new season that's coming in what changes are coming because hey, it's not on me, but it is me to get him out there.
Right.
But it is on him to keep the mindset of um, I got to do this, and why are you doing it, and what all you want to accomplish from everything.
So are you ready for I guess question for both of y'all. The recruiting nowadays, they coming to the parents, if not more than they're coming to the actual player. Like both of y'all get recruited, individually and together. Um, so how do you, I guess, plan to attack that? Because as a mom, you want him to be in the best position possible to be the best he can. And Jemarious, you might be like, I want to go to this school because Oregon got that swag, got that drip. I'm just getting on the field. So y'all might have different ideas of what's important. Like, how do y'all plan on attacking this next step that y'all about to encounter?
Actually, we sat down and discussed that recently. Like he we talked about some of the schools he's interested in, talked about his future goals that he wants to do, the pros and the cons, and going to the different schools, some of the things that they will or won't offer, and also be open minded to a change that you may not actually get all that you want, but this may open the opportunity and the doors to go into another field. So don't just be, well, I don't want this. Well, this person is only offering me this, but if they're offering you to the scholarship for this, it still opens you the door from that. So when you get there, you have to show them why you are the number one pick, number two pick, or whatever position you're picked, or the reason why they chose you. You got to show them when you get there, not just get chosen and then get comfortable. Go there and still show up and show out because you still got more levels to continue and, open up more doors for yourself. So that's from my perspective because I'm looking at it. What are you offering him? Because he's wanting to go to school. Are you trying to take him completely out, or are you looking to actually guide him on that career? What all do you offer at the school? What all programs you have there for him. I'm looking at the money aspect to make sure, hey, am I coming out of pocket for anything? If you want him to come there, are you covering the books? The Are you covering room and board? If he has any camps during that time, are you covering that? So I'm looking at it from that perspective. And some of that I want him to understand that just because they're talking to me doesn't mean that these aren't questions that you shouldn't be asking, because eventually you're going to be a college student. So you will have to ask those questions, because room and board, food, and all that stuff is going to come into play as well. And then you got times for study. So you have to look at, hey, do how am I going to balance all of this? What's
Hmm.
the priority in this program? How are you developing? How are you going to prepare me for my next step? Because this may just be me doing this to get to college and I want to be a collegiate student, and then I still want to pursue um I still want to pursue stuff. So you got to look at how long can I stay in this in order to get ready for what I want to do next. Are you going to assist me in getting that? What are we going to do? So these are the questions that, hey, it's a 50-50 thing here. I'm bringing money to you, you bringing money to me, or I'm bringing the people to you, I'm bringing the promo, I'm bringing the advertisement, I'm bringing all this support, alumni, whoever. What are you going to bring to me to make me better as well?
Man,
Okay,
it sounds
yeah.
like you got your agent, Jemarious. You good? Hey, look. Hey,
Hey,
boy.
in
Hey,
order
that's
for him
good.
to be in this, I got to be ready for it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because
that's
they're
a
gonna
whole
try
fact.
and come at me because, one, I know I'm a woman, and the first thing I'm like, oh, she don't know nothing. No, I do. I actually do.
Hey,
I'm watching the games with him. I'm coming to some of the stuff with him because it's been me with him for a long time. So I need to know what he needs to know, because I got to make sure he's equipped, because he is, one, a male. He is also African American, so he has stripes against him coming in the door. So I'm gonna make sure that, one, educationally, he is equipped to do the things, even if he don't pursue basketball, football, and all that stuff. If he get injured, I want to make sure he still has a future despite whatever happened. So he's gonna have a plan A, a plan B, and possibly a C.
Yeah,
hey,
because
What are you
man.
gonna do to make sure he's still successful?
the most important thing I heard Jemarious say is that, and I know it came from you, was when he said that one of his goals coming into this year was to get a 3.9. And I think a lot of student athletes, what they forget is the
Student.
educational part of it too.
Mhm.
Like a lot of time, these kids want to go to these big schools, the Alabamas, these whatever, but they don't make the grade level. So then they have to
Right.
end up having to basically like just go to a JUCO school or Division 2 school, because they had to get grades up and all that to get back to that level. But if you're
Right.
setting them up from the beginning, you don't
Mhm.
have to be so hard on where he can go ahead and get in the door. If nothing else, educational wise, he can still get in the door and get a
Right.
scholarship in some of these
Mhm.
schools or whatever. Because there's so many different scholarships and ways to get in and get money that you can still get the money you need to get the educational part of it. So I think that's the most important. And this your only is Jemarious your only child that you have
He's
that's
my only son, so he's been one that I've really had to like learn from start to finish everything. Like I literally had to learn with having a son, literally basic stuff that he needs,
mm-hmm,
and making sure that he had a trainer. They was like, "Why are you paying for it?" I said, "Well, I'm trying to get him to the next level." I said,
mm-hmm,
"If this is something that he wants to do, I want to make sure that, one, he has what he needs. He knows how to be there. He has the agility. We're pushing him to do what he needs to do." I said,
mm-hmm.
it's a lot to learn. We always joining doing stuff, but then we don't want to. We need to know, and that comes from my mom. She was like, "Knowledge is the power that you can't, nobody can take away from you." And I said, time that we always say, "Well, I could put a ball in hand." Yeah, when he came into the world, I was excited, and I put a
Mm-hmm.
ball in his hand. I put whatever I could in his hand. One, I'm like, you is not going to be a statistic. If you're going to be a statistic, I want you to be that percentage that is not going to fail. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care if you just make it to this level. I want you to be the best. If you're going to be the garbage man, be the best one. It doesn't matter.
I
And
know
that's not
that,
coming
right.
from the military. That's just me. Because I'm
Yeah.
retired now. But I'm like, I'm just mom, and I don't want to come in there and be like, well, yeah, it's okay. No, he need to know the ins and the outs, because that's where we fail in a lot of different areas. It's not
Yeah.
knowing.
Yep, yep. And not knowing and not putting ourselves in a position to know. We make
Right.
excuses sometimes as parents not to know. You
Hmm.
know, me and my wife we would show up to all the PTA meetings. So we show up to all the teacher parent conferences so we
Right.
know what's going on with our kids. Whether our kids are at fault or the school's at fault, we gonna know which way who to look at the most. Like you need to step up or you need to step up or
Right.
whatever. And then the thing about with you have the resources to get your child a trainer. So that's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Most of these kids don't have those resources to get a trainer. You know what I mean? So you to be a blessing enough for him to have that, that's stuff he definitely can take advantage of because you set yourself up as a mom, which is a tribute to you because you set yourself as a parent to give these resources because we already know in these white communities and stuff they do their kid. That's why their kids can play tennis and baseball and some of these high price sports that take a lot of money because they have the resources to do it. That's really why a lot of the black kids don't play some of these other sports because
Mhm.
it costs too much to play it. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
see
Not
that.
that we don't want to, is that we don't have the money to do it.
Well, see, I
So,
didn't always have that. I had to work like multiple jobs to do that stuff to get it for him. But I said
mhm.
whatever it takes to get him what he needed to do for him to have a better chance in life, because he's already born with a lot of things against him. So I was like, hey, I got a son. I was excited. And then I started crying. I was like, I got a son. Oh my
Yeah,
God. Because then I
yeah,
started to seeing the stuff that they literally go through. And then we had that experience. So, like, the standards that they set for him as a male and an athlete are so
Yeah.
low that it's okay to make a D. It's okay to make a C. Not today. Try again. In this house, let me see that 3.0 or better.
I know that's
Matter of
right.
fact, I want that 4.0, but if you can't get that 4.0, let's push.
Yeah.
And we done went through those situations where, oh, he's good. He passed. I said passing ain't good enough. I
Yeah.
said passing gets you to the door, and you still got to push hard to get through that door.
Mm-hmm.
And they still overlook you. I don't want you to overlook him. I want you to see his transcript when it come across you and
Mm-hmm.
know that you can't overlook him because he is qualified for this.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, you know what? I appreciate y'all coming on this morning. I don't know if y'all got one last question, but I appreciate y'all coming on. We're about to run out of time for today. And I just want to see you. I definitely want to see your growth because I understand what it is to try to raise young black men in this America. My son is actually in the music on the music side of things. So, and he have his success now, but it came through hard work. It came through me and his mom supporting him every step of the way, and that's the biggest thing is to having parents that support you and to willing to be out there. Because me and my wife would go out. My kids were in band at their high school, and it was no parents in the crowd. So and I'm not being critical towards parents because they probably had to work or whatever the case may be. But a lot of time you don't have a parent that can be there at every game, yelling at the referees, yelling at you from the sideline. So all I can say is, young man, once you get the opportunity to get some money in your pocket, you know what I'm saying, buy your mama the biggest house, the nicest car, just be whatever you gotta do for your mom. Just get her what she wants because your mom is your biggest fan, and we see it. You know what I'm saying? Right here, your mom is your biggest fan, and I don't care how bad you play. When those analysts and people talking about, oh, Jemarious had a bad game and da, 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 your mom gonna be right there in your corner. You know what I'm saying? Encouraging you to do better, and she never gonna leave your side. And I can tell by her passion, it's never gonna change. You know what I'm saying? So,
No.
yeah.
so you know what I mean. So, but like I said, I appreciate you coming on. We're gonna keep up with your stats. Our statistician is not here today. Crystal, she was the one. She would be the one throwing all your stats out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, I see you did this, and I see you did. She was our statistician, but she's not here today.
Oh,
Whatever. But I thank y'all for coming on. What branch you in, Mom? What branch you in?
I'm retired from the Army.
Okay. Yeah, I was in the Air Force. I know. Don't even say that. I was in the Air Force. Oh, you say that. Well,
I was
ready to
quiet. I
say
wasn't gonna,
something.
because we have Air Force in my family too. So it's like,
Nah, yeah,
we
I know
don't say
y'all.
nothing. But it's a competition between the two of us. Now that is a competition.
I
We're
know.
always at it.
Yeah, but yeah, so salute to all of y'all, and y'all have a blessed rest of y'all day. I thank y'all coming on because I know for a teenager, it's not easy to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. So man, I thank y'all for
We
coming
was
on.
gonna be up anyway. We was going to church.
Oh, okay. Hey,
So
that's
yeah,
another
we
thing
was
too.
going to
Keep
church.
God. That's the number one thing. Keep God in your life. Keep God first. I don't care what you're going through in life because it's not always going to be easy. So keep God first, especially when you get out there on that limelight and you see all these kids out here, doing all, suicide rate is high and drug rate is high. Keep God first in everything you do, and you'll be okay.
Well, I want to
What I
thank
mean?
y'all so much
So,
for
yeah,
having us on here.
no problem. Y'all have a good day.
You too.
But great show, fellas. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so great show. That's I could tell that young man, he should be just fine. You know what I'm saying? Because he have a great foundation around him, and that's the biggest thing about sports is whatever, or just being in that entertainment sports limelight is to have a foundation around you and people that's going to put you in the right position to win, or whatever. But anyway, man, another great show. Like I said, because I'm about to end it, because I was gonna talk to y'all real quick about a couple of things before we end
Okay.
the day. But so yeah, so I just want to thank everybody for watching us. Next Level DJs, as y'all see in the corner, that's our new affiliate. Where we got a lot of big things coming up. B Soul Radio is also our other affiliate, or whatever, for this whole network. Today, starting at 4 o'clock, we have Anthony Velvet Hall. He's starting his new podcast. He's the ex WWE wrestler, so he'll be starting today on at 4 o'clock this afternoon. So y'all definitely tune in. Everybody tune in to Anthony Velvet Hall. He gonna have a lot of special people, guests on there. They're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff. So if you're a wrestling fan, he's the one you definitely want to tune into. So see y'all next week. See y'all Wednesday night, 910 Sports Reloaded. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do this again. It's your boy Icon. Well, my man KB the Amazing, Steve O, and my man Jacob the Great that had to get up out of here. We'll holler.